Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Andrew Laird. You can find me, let's see, as Lairdinho on Sorare. I think maybe Football.Fun, but maybe not. I don't know. Laird on MFL. Those are the games I'm playing, what I'm going to be talking about today. Happy Friday to everyone. Let's get into it. Let's see. Ryan Walter, Dobbsy, and JPS on the podium. Congratulations to you three. JPS said, trying to tune in from under the sea. If this works, then the happiest of Fridays to the best community there is. Love to see that. Congratulations again to you three. Anion, what's up? Mike Baston, hello. Pants definitely on today. Dobbsy said, went out to my local shop earlier. The rain is mental out by me. So yeah, pants definitely more advantageous in the rain. Appreciate you guys coming in. I know it's a little early for the regular Friday stream. I was going to go a full hour earlier, and then I pushed it back just 30 minutes earlier. Have to take my wife to the airport. And just, things get in the way. Ricardo, JT Chells, Sean Kennedy, glad to see you. Alex Wilson says international football is trash. I've never felt that more than this international break. It was actually today. Oh, Kev Hurd, what's up? So it was today making lineups while I was watching Quinny and Harry. And I almost, not that I wasn't going to make lineups, but I hadn't made a single one until this morning. And I usually have a couple made, but with the international break, it's always kind of a literal break for me. And so I went to make my lineups today and noticed that one of my Division 1 lineups in All-Star from in Limited got relegated in the midweek because of a DNP. I forget who it was. It was either Camavinga or Di Lorenzo. I had them in two separate lineups, both DNPs. And I was going through all of my cards and I was like, oh, cool. Like River Plate have a good matchup and Racing have a good matchup, but they're good matchups in vacuums and they're not great matchups. But if it was a regular contender week, I definitely would have thrown them in. And looking at multiple teams that had, 95+% chances to win, it just seemed so stupid to play my cards. And it was a little bit of a bummer. I'm like, the relegation fear is why I did that, because when you're a 50% chance to win and up against clubs that are 90%, or not even clubs, teams that are 90%, it's almost not worth it. And so I decided I was just going to do a bunch of late entry arenas, but I know myself. By Sunday, Racing and River Plate play on Sunday. By then, I'm just going to forget. Yeah, I could set alarms. Maybe I will. I don't know. It just felt like I was just like, whatever. I don't care about this. And it used to be with internationals, with international breaks like this. It was like, who cares? Just throw them in All-Star. Who knows what can happen? And now that who knows what can happen is that you get relegated. These breaks are so boring, but a necessary evil so we can have great World Cup summers. But what about a World Cup winter? Sid, what's up? International break, MFL postseason, perfect timing for a breather. It is a good point on that. I'll get into that in a second. Dobbsy said, I have no lineups in internationals since moving to Rare, but it's somewhat nice to have a mini break now and then. The break, time to wait until close before kickoff of the River Plate and get in a late arena. Anion knows what's up. Yeah. When is Mrs. Laird back? Sounds like an all-nighters on the cards to me. She's back Sunday, but I have my 3 kids. So, I mean, what are we doing here? So yeah, it's the international break. I remember PSU fans too always talking about how much he enjoyed the break, because he was like, he has like the elite cards that would do well during an international break, but it just felt like there was a little less pressure. He uses pressure because he thinks that way, but it was just like, it's a little easy, it is kind of a nice break. And Sean said it's a perfect time to take stock and make a move in a new direction. Grilling halloumi for 3 days. That's Andy Black's weekend. So I do appreciate the break, particularly as it came up with the MFL offseason. But on the NFL side, Football.Fun or Sport.Fun launched their NFL game, and that's been taking up a lot of time. And so JPS said, I think it's only right we have a lock-in. All good social clubs have them. What do you mean a lock-in? Maybe that's like a English phrase. I just don't know. Anyway, Black's producing a new animated film, Finding Halloumi. But the reason for this topic, and Mike actually kind of asked this in the Laird Social Club Discord, and if you're not in the Laird Social Club, which means you're not in the Discord, if you'd like to be, there's a link in the description of this video. It's just at patreon.com/AndrewMLaird, and you get access to everything. And in that, you were like, wasn't this always the case? The whole like when work becomes play, or when play becomes work and work becomes play. And it really hit home like two distinct times this week. And it was basically, as I was playing, I was wondering if this was work. And actually, it was more, I think it was my wife asking if I was working. And so the two instances, and there's a little backstory to this, that basically I've been developing this like new project, I guess, on MFL. Just I bought another team, and I'm going to do a video about it. And so don't worry about it. In fact, I might. I don't know. Does anybody know if Jimbo's going live today? I forgot to ask him. I assume so, but anyway, I have some very important MFL games today, and I'm going to film them. I just don't know if I'm going to be live or not. If Jimbo's going live, then I'm definitely not going live. But so I've been spending a lot of time on MFL. In fact, I think I told somebody the other day, might have been Harry, that I've spent more time on MFL this week than any other game I play. And he was quite surprised about that, just because obviously Sorare takes up a significant amount of time, and Football.Fun is launching the NFL stuff, which there's a drop in 22 minutes that I'd like to be a part of. So you're going to see me do that, or at least watch me struggle with it. But so I'd spent a lot of time on MFL looking at clubs and players that I bought, and I bought a lot of players. I deposited more money on MFL. It was either last week or this week than I had since I started. And part of the reason is I just have so much fun on MFL. It's as simple as that. And obviously anything that I do on MFL can turn into content, because I do content about what my experiences on MFL, plus talking to other people about it. And I'm not saying that I am like, oh, this is a work expense, because it's definitely not. Like, it's a game that I play. I just happen to do content on it. But it was like 8, 9 o'clock or whatever. The TV was on, God knows what was on. And I just had my laptop open looking at the MFL marketplace. And I basically spent a lot of time in like the buy sell channel on Discord, seeing what people are selling. And I think easily one of the worst things that you can do if you play MFL and you're like looking to sell players, the absolute worst thing you can do is post in that channel and just say like looking for offers, with no range of how much you want for that player. Just like, I'm willing to listen to offers. I can't imagine anybody sends offers that way. But I also think the whole like open to negotiate on players that are like 3x what they should be. Just if you want to sell players, there's a way to sell players. And the same with Sorare. Like, there's a way to sell cards, and there's a way to list cards and never sell them. And we just all need to learn about that. But anyway, so I was sitting there on the couch looking at my laptop, and my wife was like, you're doing some more, you're working more. And I was like, look down on my laptop, and I'm on the MFL marketplace. And I was like, no, yes. And I just like wasn't sure. Now, obviously, I think the easy answer is no, I'm not working, because I'm just playing MFL. But what I did, or what I was doing on MFL, is eventually going to turn into work, because I'll make a video about it and whatever. And so it was just this weird thought that I had of, is this work, or am I doing something that leads to work? And does that then make it work? And the other one was, I think it was Wednesday. So I didn't do a live stream Wednesday, which really bothered me, because a big part of my content is that I'm live every day or live most days. And that obviously took advantage of the most. And a lot of it was spent playing the game. Like the reason I didn't end up streaming is because I was like, oh, I want to finish this one thing for Football.Fun. And then I wanted to finish a thing for Sorare. And then I basically worked on those things that was going to help create content. And then I started back on the MFL marketplace. And all of a sudden I like looked up and I was like, wow, it's already almost 2:00 in the afternoon. And I had my last games of MFL and I knew I was going to record those. So I basically was like, I didn't have time to live stream. And I was like, did I just lose my day? Not my whole day, but like my streaming, my live stream, because I was too busy playing these games. And I was like, but I obviously play these games because I really like them, but I also play them because I make content about them and that's work. And then, so I was like, did I not live stream because I was working, or did I not live stream because I was just playing and not necessarily producing content at that time? And I think that's just one thing, just a mental thing with me, that when I am not like very specifically making content, whether it's doing a live stream or recording a video or editing something or whatever, I just don't know if I'm working. Whereas playing the games, like I have to play the games in order to make the content, but I don't play the games because it's my job necessarily. My job is to create content around those games. And I just am really struggling with it. Mike said, your biggest problem is determining the difference is that you don't have set pattern of hours of work other than Monday to Friday. Well, so other than Monday to Friday, but I play Sorare, Football.Fun, and MFL on the weekends too. I'm not necessarily making content during those days. Like I don't record videos during the weekend and I don't go live during the weekends. And part of that was a work-life balance that changed when I left RotoWire. I used to work most weekends. I pretty much worked 7 days a week when I worked at RotoWire. And, it wasn't necessarily 8 to 10 hours every single day, but it was way more than 40 hours a week, of course. But when I went to Sorare Data, that was one of the things Maxime kind of was clear about. He was like, I may work on the weekends sometimes, like you're welcome to, but there's no expectation for it. And obviously when I went out on my own, I was like, when I didn't really stream on the weekends then for Sorare Data anyway. So I don't think there's much of an expectation for it from people who watch my channel. Maybe you guys would want it, but the weekends are I try to not work on those weekends. So you only see content production as working. Yes. Like that's how I'm looking at it. Like I think it's more, that's when I know I'm definitely working, if that makes sense. But I'm not sure. But obviously everything I do to get the topics for the content and to play these games so that I have things to make content about is that work? I see work as monetizing something you enjoy, so maybe I would see it as you're doing both. Yeah, I think both is the right answer. But ultimately, sorry, JPS said playing the games enables your content, so it's not necessarily working, but it does allow your work to happen. Without it, you couldn't work. Yeah, so that's exactly what it is. And it's one of those that if I'm playing MFL or playing Sorare, which that's not even an active activity, meaning like, oh, I'm looking at the marketplace. A few of you may have seen that I bought some Liga and Super Rares recently. And so I spend time like looking at what else is on the market and who else I can get cards from. And do I really want to buy a unique and all that stuff? And while I'm doing that, sorry, something flying around. While I'm doing that, I'm not necessarily making content directly from it, but am I working? And when I'm home during the day, so like obviously I work from home. My wife works in a school, so she is out to like she leaves for work. My kids are at school. Like I'm home by myself. I work from home. So during those hours, it feels like whatever I do is work. But then if I'm just sitting on the couch at 8, 9 o'clock p.m. and I'm playing these games, is that when I'm playing or is that when I'm working? And I actually asked Nep this once, kind of like how much content, excuse me, how much he plays these games not on camera. And he was like, oh, all the time. And I was like, so how do you differentiate like work from play? And his answer was basically like, who cares? And he's probably right, but I've been thinking about it, and I feel like part of my content is just talking about what I think about. And so that's why you guys have this topic today. Mike said, so TLDR, if you start playing with the intention of it ending in content creation, it's work. If you're just playing, it's not. So I don't know if that's true, Mike, because I'm not sure. There's nothing I do playing wise. Like, how do I? So I don't think I play the game, any of these games at all, with the intention of making content. Meaning, well, that's probably not true. Like this Sorare rookie card challenge is a good example. Like that's something I wanted to try, but I knew I was going to make content about it. I don't necessarily think I did it because of the content, but I kind of knew I would make content about it. Whereas anything on, like, I didn't buy this new team in MFL because of the content. In fact, just the opposite. I don't know if I'll make any content about it. I'll make one video about, talking about why I did it, but I don't think I will. I don't think it's a continuous thing. But yeah, so I think most of my playing is with the intention of playing. Kev said it's only work for the bits you turn into content. You have fun playing too, then use for your work. So it's only work for the bits you turn into content. So the problem is that that's after I've done the playing, meaning whatever I do, and if I make a video later, like I don't necessarily know I'm doing the content as I'm doing the work. Excuse me, as I'm playing. I'm not playing with the specific thought of I'm going to make content about like this one specific thing. Who cares is the perfect answer. If you enjoy work that much, you can't tell the difference, then I would say you're in a good place. So absolutely. And I love it. Mike said, have you reached out to Quinny for his views on the topic? He's someone I see as very similar situation. So I totally should have done that. And I will do that. Obviously not this moment. Actually, yeah. Let me reach out to him this moment and we'll see. Any chance you can jump on stream with me right now? It's Friday night. It's usually not a ideal time. So full disclosure, I actually messaged Mike Zakarian earlier today. Mike and I did a show a couple months ago called Soul Selling, all about content creators and getting sponsorships and all that stuff. And I was like, this was my topic. Actually, not sure I even told him what the topic was, but he was unavailable today. He actually won 10 grand like 2 nights ago in some NBA DF, maybe it was Underdog. I forget where it was, but he won $10,000. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. And I was like, I wonder if he considers that work. Mike said, sometimes it feels like work trying to fit in all this freaking content into my work. Oh, Manuel, what's up? So yeah, I don't expect Quinny to reply to me because I know that this time is always a terrible time for him. But he does check in every so often. So we'll see. We'll see. Ricardo said, it's blurry for me. I like to think it as having fun while working, which is kind of awesome for me. Like you can totally have fun while working. I think the aspect of it that I always come back to is if I get to a point, now I haven't gotten to this point yet, which I'm extremely thankful about. But if I get to the point where I'm like, man, I'm starting to get a little burned out working, when in reality, that's like, man, are these games just burning me out? Or is it the work associated to it? Now, I don't feel that way at all. In fact, I almost feel like I'm not doing enough. In fact, I constantly feel that way, but that's more of a me thing. Um, and so I want, like, I have literally a list of like 10 videos for the different games that I want to play, 10 videos that I want to do on the games I play. And there are certain things that I have to do while playing these games to do that content. But again, I'm not necessarily doing those things for the content. Like, I started doing these things in the game and I was like, oh, I should make a video about it. And then when I start working out the video, it's like, man, it would be cool if I did this. And a lot of it is just like waiting to see what happens. Like the League on streak chasing video that I did where I failed to get to the 5th streak. I had a whole thing set up of like what happens when I hit the 5th one. And obviously I came up short. So it's like, all right, that's delayed now. I did make a video about getting to the 4th, but I don't want to do like a weekly video. Here's how I did in League On. Like, I just don't think that's very engaging. And it's just boring. It's boring for me to make. It's boring for anybody to watch. And so now it's like, all right, well, that's on the back burner. But I literally have at least 10 videos like that, which is not necessarily on Sorare. In fact, I have like 5 or 6. I'm going to keep calling it Football.Fun, even though it's like Sport.Fun. But 5 or 6 videos like those that I want to do. And part of it is just like, I have to wait for things to happen. One of the bigger problems about Football.Fun, from my perspective, like from the content perspective, is the NFL launch has a significant impact on the football side. And today's the last player drop. So I think it'll get a little easier after this, but it's one of those that, and this used to happen with Sorare all the time, where it was like, oh, here's the best, make a MLS lineup for $1,000. And then next week it was like, make an MLS lineup for $2,000. And then 3 months later, it's like, make an MLS lineup for $10. And it just moves so quickly that you don't want content that is not supposed to be like, there's short-term content, like the Deadline show. Whereas like after it's done, like nobody's going to go back and watch that. Although I do believe there are some sickos who do, and shout out to them. But you also don't want to make content that has a lifespan of like 10 days, because after that, it's just worthless. And usually there's significantly more effort going into the 10-day content than the 1-second content. JPS said, I have to say, I thought the final game MFL video was excellent. Thank you very much, JPS. That was absolutely killer. I'm still not over it. But it is what it is. Sorry, I just want to check. We've got like I said, MFL player drop in 6 minutes. And I just wanted to figure out who I was going for. I forgot who. So this is, and like, I don't even play NFL, excuse me. Like, I don't play fantasy NFL anytime like regularly. So let's see. These are the guys who are launching today. Oh, right. It was Josh Allen. Oh, yeah. There are some good guys here. Taylor. Yeah, it's probably just these 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I don't expect to get any of them, but it is what it is. Let's see. There he is. So Quinny, I think, sometimes listens in the car, which is like not an ideal spot to stream from. But Quinny, I sent you a DM asking if you wanted to come on the stream right now. Otherwise, we have to schedule one for next week. The people demand it. Quinny, we were talking about, I know you asked Mike, but I'm going to answer it. We were talking about the difficulty for content creators figuring out when you're playing the games and when you're working, and whether it matters. Because maybe it just doesn't matter. Sorry, setting up some more Football.Fun drop stuff. But yeah, that was the topic today. Taylor. All right. Do I have 3 here? Oh, Josh Allen. Do I want to get Josh Allen today? Or Jamar Chase? Sorry, I know this is now we've turned into the boring content of just watching me click on my computer, but sometimes you got to click on the computer. So we got Josh Allen, Smith, Njiba, Jackson, and Taylor. Do I want to go after Jamar Chase? Well, McBride's another big one too. Rice isn't bad. I don't know. I'm not going to get any of these anyway, so I don't even know why I'm making a big deal out of it. But yeah, so the other thing about being a content creator for games is how much I play these games and don't make content. And it's actually something that Nep had brought up to me a while ago. Are you now just playing? That I don't think I'm making any content on these drops. I guess I might. So I don't know, Wesley. But one of the things that Nep has told me that he thinks I should do, which I think is weird because it would directly compete with him. But he was like, you should just stream for 8 hours a day and play all the different games that you play, because that's what he does. He streams, like if you go to his videos or like his main channel, I think he literally will stream 8 to 12 hours a day. It's insane. Let's see if we can find it. Nepenthes. How long are his videos? In fact, he's streaming right now. But so his live stuff, 3 hours. 5 hours. My God. I feel like he's cut back. I felt like he used to stream much longer. 4 hours. So he was like, you should just stream for 4 hours. Why not? And I was like, why not? Because that's crazy. Sorry, got to set up my buys here. And part of it is just like, oh, well, you get, when you, if you stream for that long, eventually you're going to make you're going to talk about something that you can make content on. And it's not even like making content on, different content. It was just like, no, just use that as your content, which I think he does quite a bit as well and makes sense to me. But also, I don't know. Sorry. Ultimately, none of these are going to work anyway, but we're going to try. In fact, I'll just show it to you guys right here. Well, no, I won't, because who knows if that'll mess up my... All right, let's see here. Trading disabled, good start. Trade failed. Not working very well. Come on. The worst is, so it kind of looks like this, and it's just like, hey, maybe you can have some shares, or maybe not. Nope, didn't work. That just says failed. Oh, I did get something. I don't know what, though. I'm guessing I got Smith. Oh, well, that was fun. Anyway, so made it back out of the tunnel, back on UK soil. Let's go. Looks like I got some Jonathan Taylor shares today, who I didn't really want, but Quinny's in. Let's go. Quinny's already done 2 hours today. You know what's funny is I was like, I'm not going to do lineups today. I don't even care. I didn't want to, like, I just didn't. Yeah, like I didn't. It's an international break, and my lineups were beat. Anyway, but that's kind of the discussion of where is the work? Yeah, see, now Quinny has to work. Like, do you think he is now like, hi guys, I got to go work for a little bit? Like, that's what I would say. If I was home and doing something and hopped on stream, I'd be like, I got to go work for a little bit. Anyway, so maybe Quinny will have some enlightening moment for us here. So we'll see. But it's all work. It's work. Surely this is work. Surely work. What's up, my man?
Yo, how's it going?
Do you consider what you're doing this very moment as work?
No.
Oh, shit. Does that mean I'm not working?
It's definitely. I don't know about that. It's definitely it's definitely on, like, if you're color coding the calendar, it would definitely be in the same color coding.
Okay.
In terms of like what I did at that time of the day, if you get me. But no, I don't see or feel it that way. Right now.
So if were you with your family just before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like when you left to come on here, you weren't like, I got to do something for work?
I was like, I got a call I could jump on now if no one needs me, and that was my get out. Got a play date happening with my oldest. My youngest is at house around the corner, so I've got a soft deadline of 20 minutes because I need to go and collect the little one. That's kind of the proviso of you can go and hide for 20 minutes if you have to go down the road and pick up the wee one. So yeah, no. But I could have, like, if I thought I was going to be on the full stream or whatever, but I knew you'd kicked off already and I knew you weren't going to be on for ages. So I guess the work element or angle, no, never came into mind for right now.
Well, now you can say it was work. Do you consider playing Sorare as work?
Yes.
Is there any time where you're playing Sorare that's not work?
Yes.
Okay. And how do you differentiate them?
So, well, now it's quite clear with how I do stuff, but overall, like, if I'm doing something that can be shared in any way, then, or if it's for the betterment of an idea or something that can help with like feedback or whatever, then yeah, it's firmly in that category. The main things that don't fall into that category is like shiny edition Real Sociedad cards, or like for no reason at all. Like I got that Camavinga Ren card back into the gallery for I didn't even have a Ren collection, but like, so anything like that where it's like that serves no purpose to man or beast, then that's me time.
But could you argue that the Camavinga thing is just part of your work personality?
That's an interesting way of putting
people
it.
Who watch your content are like, of course Quinny got a Camavinga. Like, that's exactly a card he should have.
Yeah, there is a bit of that, I guess. but that's not built into the activity
Yeah.
or the value proposition of buying the card or anything. It's an interesting point you raised, but I suppose it's quite hard. Like when I started off and I was logging in, my wife was in the room just getting changed quickly, and I thought, oh, if we keep on this what is work chat, this is going to be really awkward for me to talk. But she's not here. I thought I was going to just be giving you yes and no's for about 5 minutes, but yeah, because it is
So
like it's really blurry lines. You know, I've got really good. I'd probably say since I left the studio for like there'll be a certain time in the day where like I'm just not like my phone is like in the opposite end of the house, and then I give everyone else a hard time for being on their phone. You know, that's when I go on patrol. You know. You can't talk to me now. No, we put something on the TV, and look what you're just doom scrolling and da da da. That's when I get on my high horse. You need to have some high horse time, or you can't get on, or you can't, keep that natural tempo in the house.
Did you have this issue much when you were in the studio?
It was kind of easy to like walk away from stuff, but I think I spent a lot of. Actually, weirdly enough, I'd probably say when I did that, my headspace was like 24/7 work a lot more because of the overheads and all the kind of, I don't want to say pressure because I never really felt pressure with the whole thing, but just the commitment of it all, just the reality of it, I suppose. So I was kind of on more, I think, when I did that. Something, as I say, like if my phone and my computer's in this room and I'm in a different room, then, it's just impossible, it's not going to happen. So it's a bit easier that way. Whereas, because it's the studio, it's like, oh, I need to prepare so that when I get in, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And Tuesdays, I get all this stuff done and blah, blah, blah. And then when you come home, it's like, oh, crap, I forgot this. Or, oh, tomorrow I'll make sure, and you're kind of always thinking about going and coming. Whereas I say, it's actually probably in that way, this would probably be a little bit easier for me because I can just like, right, everyone's home, there's just no way. Phones are different, yada, yada. There's just no way it'll turn.
Do you feel the same way about MFL?
Yeah, I think so. I think the thing with MFL, I find it's in terms of like time I do, it's like 90% fun and like 10% like I need to make sure I'm not just forgetting about it kind of thing, because it is a game and like there's no like as much as like there's tutorial videos to be made and like innovations with the game and stuff like that. In terms of like me playing it and exploring it, because it's maybe just because of like how I found Sorare in the exact same way, but it's probably just because of the situation I'm in as I found them. But because MFL like was completely a decision I made off my own back, and what I mean by that is you can attest to, of course, and many other people. It's kind of a well kind of spoken topic, but like if once you get to a certain kind of number of followers and stuff like that, like if you want to kind of take a couple of quid from a lot of random people, you can kind of do that if you want, and it's just something I've never ever done. So it's one of those ones where it was like a decision for me to do it, where it's like, I want to play this. And then, naturally, like just because of what I do, can this sort of partnership work, and it did. So I think because the genesis of that was, again, a game rather than the other way around, like if it'd been one of these other people, I can't even think of any names, never mind bothering with any of them. But like, when someone else approaches you and says, come and do this, then it's very much on the clock, isn't it? It's, okay, well, how much time will I spare for that? And how much time will that take? And there's a kind of situation work-wise that then you probably need to think about. But it's kind of what NEP is with Sorare, I think, as well. Like you just, like I sometimes just put on his streams for like 20 minutes. Like I heard you saying I'm normally in the car, like maybe just for some radio kind of action, And the amount of times he'll just be playing FIFA and he'll just talk about Sorare for 20 minutes out of nowhere just because of one cut. Like you can tell like he just plays it, he's not. And again, if he doesn't put a video out for 2 weeks, he doesn't care, like it's not like the end of the world for him or anything like that. So MFL is kind of like that for me, where obviously I care how many videos I make and stuff like that because that's just reality of the situation. But it's very much in that way where I don't schedule time to play it. I just end up playing it, and stuff like that. And it's not like with Sorare, like work or play kind of thing. It's kind of like because you're kind of playing IRL a little bit in terms of like the clock. MFL is kind of similar, I suppose, in its own way. But with Sorare, like my chat was firing about 20 minutes ago. No Hradecki, Sinisalo's in. You probably know all about it. I'm sure you're at the coalface. So stuff like that happening, missions coming out, or you can always be kind of doing stuff. So you need to kind of, when I'm saying it like before, like I'll get on my high horse time, I'll put my phone away. Like I'm kind of cognizant of, I've actually been on this for like 4 hours today, and now everyone's home, and like really how much more can I do with my time? I kind of think of it in that sense. Whereas with MFL, like if I sat there for like 3 hours playing it, like none of that thought process would come into anything, because it's just like, oh, I'm gaming, you know, I'm having a shot at something. So again, like I'll fire the PlayStation on before bed quite often. I've got back in the habit of doing that since being back home, which is good fun. And that's clearly obviously not work or anything. But again, yeah, I've just always felt like that's the one thing I've always liked about games in general, is like it's your time to turn your brain off, because I'm not long doing this type of work, which again, you know, we're very similar in a lot of ways, you know, and you know, whenever I've been doing this stuff or playing a game before, it's normally to turn off the same thought process I was chatting about with the studio, but just slide in any other work environment, you know, like you're thinking about what's happening tomorrow, targets or meetings or stuff that some idiot let you down today, or some idiot's going to let you down tomorrow, or, you know, things like that kind of going on in your head. And then the game is like your time to just like palate cleanse, just bubble up, and just, I'm shooting some people for half an hour, you know.
So I just wrote down a question because I was going to forget it, but Sid here, and I heard Sid say this on, I can't remember if it was Meet the Manager or When Dirk, but he has said multiple times that you are the one who got him in to MFL, and he wanted to thank you for that, because Sid is just an absolute MFL beast now, and you're the reason.
Sid's a ledge, always in the chat, and always giving props. Love to see it, no problem at all, Sid. And yeah, like it's a great game. There's no getting away from it. You know, it's IRL football season. It's been so busy. Like this part of the year, like it's just been off the charts. So it's just been one of those things where, like, we're chatting about work and play. Like, because I do a lot of Celtic content as well, and that's done quite well. I also had a wee football channel on the side. I started. I've not really done anything with that for about a month or something. Every kind of football activity, like if I'm constantly just looking for like transfer news, or at the time, you know, I'm looking for news. I'm looking for things, because I'm always looking for ideas. As soon as I've got an idea, so for a lot of things, like when it comes to, like, so I'm always looking for that kind of spark of a moment where I could be standing in your kitchen doing the video, you know, like talking to you about something, like I've been on the market. Do you see the price of French defenders, or or you know, this transfer just happened. Oh, it's going to be brilliant. You know, if I can get that kind of wee feeling of, oh, this is something I could just stand and talk to my mate about, or you know, in some sort of way for whatever channel it is or whatever the topic is, then that's kind of what I'm always looking for in one way, shape, or form, whether it is on the app, in the market, or on the timeline, looking at news or reading things or reading quotes. You know, like I said this to, I won't go into details, right? Because it was a wee bit of, oh, I read this, by the way, and I was saying to Harry, I was like, oh, I read this thing, and watch out for this situation. If this guy gets booked, then this guy walks straight in for the fifth yellow card cover kind of thing, and and you know, so wee things like that are valuable to me, because you know, I can say that to Harry, right? Fine. We bit closer to the time, it might just slip out in a stream when I'm doing like a gallery review for somebody, you know, and I might just know like, oh, you've got that guy. Oh, by the way, you know, whatever, things like that. So, yeah, I've kind of rambled in a kind of aimless direction there, but yeah, sorry.
Was Go Fuck Friday work?
No, so that was deliberately, like, cause I think like not long. I think right around the time I started that was when I started doing MFL content, because and then what I realized at that point was like everything I was doing was in my mind anyway, constantly kind of serving a purpose. And I also term, like, in this frame, just to have this frank conversation with you, like the number one person I work for is me, and by you know, what's the word, by I forget what the word is, but you guys, the people who watch. And what I mean by that is like making content that the people that have already subscribed will want to watch, and making content that might help me get more subscribers. That's the number one like person I work for, or objective, or whatever. Anyone who follows me already needs to, not that I'm going to just do what the audience wants or any, you know, that kind of thing, you know, but like, you know, why do people watch the videos? What do they want from it? Kind of thing, as well as trying to move it. So that's always kind of the first thing. So for Go Fuck Fridays, it was like, I didn't tweet about it. I didn't want to tweet about it. I didn't want to, I wanted to put a wee bit of effort into it and for it to be fun, you know, but I didn't want to do anything with it beyond it's just going to happen. Like, and you know, whatever happens on it, you know. And the reason I remember the MFL stuff is because I remember Nep came on the first few and ended up just going like, Oh, by the way, what's this MFL thing you've been messing about with? And we ended up just like quite organically, I suppose, just kind of sidewinding and talking about it or whatever. So I remember because I remember thinking like, I don't care what we talk about on this. It's not like it's a this or a that or anything. So yeah, that was 1,000% just for me to do something that wasn't obligatory to myself or anything else.
Yeah. So one of the perks of your of being a member of your channel, which everybody should go. Surely everybody here is already a member, but if you're not, Queenie 3001. I just celebrated my 4-year anniversary of being a member. The part of it is getting access to your Telegram. Is being on Telegram work?
You know, if my missus is giving me a hard time, I have to say that, but no, not really. You know, like, but yeah, if I'm getting a hard time for being on my phone and that's what's open, then it will be no. I'm talking to this is something's happened, or I'm welcoming somebody in, or whatever it might be. But nah, I don't count Telegram activity as work. I am conscious to become active because, again, I do like to distance myself from my phone, but just through like personal, balance or whatever. And again, because of that, I'm quite bad to communicate with online quite often. I'm very terrible to organize stuff with, and can be I can't help it. I always try and become better. But the Telegram, I'm very cognizant of not letting that kind of slide down my radar, kind of. But no, I don't think I've ever classify it in that way.
Because it's one of the things that because I obviously have a Discord community, which I know you absolutely hate Discord, which is one of my favorite things about you, to be honest. And Holty's here earlier. Holty has played Sorare for 4 years, has never been on Discord. And I'm just like, much respect. I really like Discord. And obviously part of my Patreon is access to a Discord of everybody who is also a member. And I know like early on, and I kind of still feel this way, that I don't like not knowing what's going on. And the only way to know what's going on is to be in it. And that doesn't
Discord
mean
is the worst thing in the world for that.
What is?
Discord. Keep it across all those channels and all those chats. Nah.
So I had my notifications set up that I would only get a notification if somebody had sent me a direct message or like tagged me in something. And I can't remember if I got if I had a phone update or something happened where my notifications changed, where I got a notification for pretty much every message in Discord. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, so I remember like the first few I got, and I was like, oh, and I like clicked in and I'm like, I wonder why I got that. And then just like, because it gets active, and all of a sudden, like my phone is just, and I'm like, what is going on? And then I realized the notification had changed, but it was also at that point, I was like, not should I keep them on, because I knew the answer was no, but it was like, am I responsible for knowing what's going on? Not in terms of good or bad, but just like knowing what everyone in my community is talking about and whether I should be at least actively reading it all the time. And I remember I had looked at it sometime during the weekend. I don't even remember what it was. And my wife like had definitely like asked me a question, and I just like I was just not there. I was here. And she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, almost like, oh, somebody from work asked me something, but I was like, I can't say that. I'm on fucking Discord on a Saturday morning. For me, it was probably about somebody's breakfast too. Like it probably wasn't about NFL or anything. Somebody just ate pancakes, and I was like, oh, I'm having pancakes. And I'm just like, what am I doing? But I do think about that, of just what responsibility we have as hosts of these kind of like private communities to be active in them.
I think you've got a responsibility to like kind of housekeep it, in that kind of way of like you're hosting it. So like if there's any bad crack or anything in it, like my Telegram has Celtic and Rangers fans in it, and it never really got too spicy. But the very first like derby match of it being like a decent size, that's where that's where the lines were drawn. You know, people seen like, okay, that was too far, and that was not a joke, and you know, or whatever, you know. And I had to kind of like say around that, you know, like this is kind of like that's a wee bit too much here or there or whatever it was. I don't remember the details or the particulars, but when you were talking, that was the only thing that jumped to my mind. And I think in that regard, like you do have a kind of responsibility, I suppose, to keep on top of it and make sure it's what it's meant to be. Because although it's like a Discord or a Telegram, it's like your channel, it's like your stream of community, I suppose, you know. And yeah, I think so. I think hosting that, you do have like a duty of care. If that's what you're meaning, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it is. It's it was not so much. Well, it was that, but it was also, is there a responsibility to be constantly active in it? Because it's almost like I think
I felt that pressure dead early on, but I don't feel a pressure to be like, oh, I've not said anything today or whatever. But I know, like, I know if I see the chat pure popping, like, I want to check in on it, if you get me.
Mm-hmm.
But if like no one's talking, I don't feel like the urge to like just go in and go, you know, like, hey guys, what's happening? You know, or you know, like I don't feel that kind of and to respond to everyone individually and like emote or you know, I did initially feel a bit of pressure with that when it was smaller, but as it grew, you kind of see like people just talk to each other and you can jump in, you can jump out, you can say a message, you can get involved in the whole thread. That's it. And again, Telegram is much more like WhatsApp, so it's a bit more kind of whereas with Discord, like the thing that got me with it, because I was open for embracing Discord when I first started playing Sorare. I've did deals on Discord. I have it. I'm linked to it. I can open it when I want to. But it would be like I would be in a Discord and people would be in like talking about, you know, anything, and then nobody would be talking anymore. And then all of a sudden everyone's in the lineup chat or something, and it's like, oh, this goalkeeper's fucked me. Da, 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 da. And then you go back, and then people tag you in a different chat, and it's like you go back into it, and it's like you need to scroll back 2 days to find like you know, the one bit where some guy said something to you, and then I didn't respond to him. Does he think I'm ignorant? Oh, if I kind of like, you know, and it was just all over the place. Whereas, like I say, Telegram actually has some functions in it I've not quite worked out how to access, but it's kind of Discord-y where you can get those wee hash channels coming into it. But for the most part, it's like WhatsApp action. So the conversation right now is the conversation. You know, there's not really any. Let's go in and talk about the Scandinavia Discord or, you know, whatever, you know, like that, all that kind of chat, you know.
Sure.
None of that going on.
I wasn't sure if, so actually maybe the question is, or excuse me, maybe the answer is different now than when you set it up. But when you set it up, was it like everyone who's in my community come hang out here? Or was it, this is your access to me?
So I don't really care for this type of stuff. Like typically myself, like I like not in the same kind of vein as you know, like people that do what we do or whatever, right? But I do like consume, like we're chatting earlier on about games and that kind of switching your head off, because I'm so focused on football. I watch a lot of YouTube that's like not football related, like movies and other stuff that's kind of doing or whatever. So a lot of them do that kind of stuff, and I've always kind of known that people do like Discord servers and all this kind of stuff. It's always been something that's been on my radar. But it's never been something, like I say, I'm quite happy to leave my phone like outside and like looking for football news, building lineups, hustling the market. Like I'm not a big group chat texting guy. I'm not going to sit here and with my best buddies and have a wee pillow talk at night, you know, or anything like that, you know. Like me and my best mate, it's literally like we'll have a wee message once every like 3 days, like, what's up? What you been up to? Oh, I did this, did that, cool. What about you? Cool. And then nothing for 3 days, and then all right, what you up to? You know, and so, but I know people like it. I actually really like it. I'm glad I did it, of course, but it wasn't something where it's like I need to give people access to me, or it's something that I just know it's something that people kind of offer, people like in terms of the community aspect. And I think like that's something doing this kind of thing as your livelihood, as where you do need to be aware of, is like the channel is like a community, and the word channel I think is quite appropriate. I think, you know, I've been kind of tempted in my mind to change the word channel in my mind to show, because I think that's the way a lot of YouTubers went kind of recently, where like a podcast just has its own channel, but if that person has like 2 podcasts, you know, or there's lots of things they could kind of talk on in that sense. So it was just kind of more out of it's what people do, and like if anyone wants it, it's there. I've got a Telegram, I won't use it anyway, so like if this becomes the thing for it, then it's like quite clean for me. Like it's not my WhatsApp, it's not my I say Discord, I'm never in it, so I would probably just let it die, and then people will be like, "What the hell is this Discord? The guy's not even in it," And so Telegram just kind of felt appropriate, and I just thought, yeah, I'll do it if anyone likes it. Cool. If they don't, it's Telegram. It's just that's what I do. And if it's crap, it's crap. If it's cool, it's cool, and we'll kind of go from there. So yeah, there was no real intention behind it beyond it's just something that adds a bit of value, perhaps. And like I think it's great. Like it's personally, like for me, like it's like having a group chat of mates that play Sorare. Obviously, my mates don't play Sorare. It's a big part of the reason we're on camera, So yeah, like I like what it's became. I like what it is. But I say I didn't really have any preconceived ideas or hopes for it. It was just kind of, I don't want to start a Discord. I can start this, and off we go.
Yeah, I think I definitely didn't start my Discord as like this is how you can get in touch with me, because I'm in others and I'm perfectly content having people reach out to me. But I did have this kind of, or the whole point of it was, and really the whole point of my channel was like, I don't necessarily only want to talk about Sorare, because for the last 4 years I've been playing Sorare, and the number of conversations I have with people who play Sorare, and the conversations are not about Sorare, are significant. And so it was like, here's a place where it's not a Sorare Discord. It's just like a Discord of people who happen to play Sorare, or happen to play MFL, or happen to play Football.Fun, and like play other games that like we all like to play these games. And so, hey, here's a community of people who like the stuff that you like. Simple as that. But then that gets me to the whole like, hold on, honey, I just have to write back to this pancake video or pancake topic that everybody's talking about this morning. And so, yeah, I don't know. Yerky Will said, I'm in your Discord, but I'm old and I can't work out how to stop it beeping at me constantly when I have it open. So don't chat in there much. The notifications are tough. JT Chell said, still strange to be that Discord isn't just a voice chat like it was in the beginning. It makes me feel old. To be that.
So it was like originally a gaming kind of sidebar chat, wasn't it? Like if you're going to game online, you'd just be in Discord with your friends, and you wouldn't need to worry about the in-game chat function or system, because it would normally be rubbish or non-existent. So I think I'm writing that. I don't know.
I think you are. And I think the way that we use Discord as a community, basically like the way that any of our game communities use Discord, is significantly like in the minority of how Discord is actually used. Like Discord is very, very, very much a like live gaming, a shared live gaming experience, and not, hey, what League One cards are you guys buying lately? So
yeah.
Yeah, there's that.
Aye, it's definitely a bit different in that sense. But yeah, no, I wasn't really it was a kind of happy accident, I suppose, because I would never have done a Discord, so kind of glad I did that, because it is good. And the main thing is is like you get team news in it, you get a wee bit of other people sharing some stuff from timelines, but it's mainly like my team popped, or maybe there's a wee bit of DN Pain that comes out once in a while, it's like, oh, this Hradecki, or these kind of things. So somebody mentioned Twitter. Twitter's fine as well. It's kind of like a personal Twitter, if you know what I mean, where it's like you kind of are just following up with people that are more closer to being like your friends, for lack of I think we all kind of see each other that way in the community, rather than just like random Twitter accounts. I know some of them are the same people, but it's that same kind of vibe where it's just like scrolling through a wee timeline, see people's teams coming through, and different bits of news and whatever. So it's good for that.
Yeah, I think I use Twitter differently than a lot of people, and so that's why I don't think it's such a horrible cesspool that everybody thinks it is. Like,
so what tab are you on more, for you or following?
So I absolutely never go on the For You tab. Genuinely never. So, but I use TweetDeck.
Oh yeah.
So how I have it set up, and I was going to pull it up, but my computer isn't letting me do it. But anyway, so I also don't follow many people. I make a bunch of lists. And so I'll have a list of like people who play Sorare, people who play MFL, all of my like Argentina football news and Ligue 1, and I just have it like that. And one of them is the people I follow. But I think because I have it so set to give me what I think I'm interested in, and not what Twitter thinks I'm interested in, then I am willing to do it. Oh, here we go. Finally loaded. So I literally just have like all of these.
That's cool.
And it's just, it's up all day. And so like, these are the people I follow. Sorare, there's Harry Trades right here. You know, MFL, League On, my notifications, and it's just, yeah, that's how I use it.
It's very different. Yeah, that's nice. So I get you on the For You thing, right? Because see, the first time they changed it, the For You tab was just wild. Like just being a mid-30s man was just all the criteria it needed, you know, to totally populate everything that was on that. You know, I think it's probably like 75% of the reason Bonnie Blue is a thing, you know, is because of just how that tab worked for about a month. And so I totally get that. But I've noticed over the last month or two, like the For You tab has been a lot better for me because it's like suggesting me. So as you know, probably, because I know you've been doing the same thing, I've recently got quite heavy into Fenerbahce and I've followed like 2 accounts. But see, if I go on to For You, I get everything every Turkish person in the world is talking about.
Is that good?
Yeah, well, it can be, you know, like, so I think it's gotten a little bit smarter, maybe an AI thing, perhaps, probably, you know. So just a wee shout out to the For You tab. It's maybe not as disgusting as or as inappropriate as it once was. So
it's funny you say that because when I use Twitter on my phone, it's obviously much different because like TweetDeck doesn't kind of work that way.
Sure.
But I had opened it and I was on the For You tab and I saw something that was like interesting to me, but I was like, how did this get to me? Like it was not somebody I followed. I knew it wasn't somebody on a list. And then I realized I was on the For You and I was like, oh, it must be working. And like the next 10 were just like completely unrelated. And I was like, oh, working better, I guess, but not quite there.
Yeah. So shout out to that.
Yeah. Do you have to go?
A little bit. Yeah, I've had a few wee nods and nudges, but yeah, we should do this again sometime. A wee bit. I've got playoffs tonight. Have you got playoffs? Yeah. Are you doing anything for it?
I was not going to go live.
You're welcome at my place. I've got 2 playoffs, one at 10:30 my time, so that's pardon me 8:30. So I'm basically live 3 hours from now, minus 10 minutes. So 25 past the hour in 3 hours from now, if that makes sense. My first game is 5 minutes after that, and then my next game is at like 15:15 the next hour, wherever that is for you. So for me, it's 9.
All I'm picturing is myself in that math gif trying to figure out.
Yeah. So in 3 hours from now, I'll be on for about 50 minutes to do 2 playoffs, and obviously happy to catch any of yours if you want to stick them on as well. If you're up for it, let me know. I'll kick your link over.
Cool,
it's up to you.
I'll reach out once I figure out what time that actually is for me.
3 hours from now, yeah, minus 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Thanks for inviting me on. I just chatted all this, but I was sitting here and I'm like, I can go on a call, so why not? And good to see you.
Thanks for extending your workday.
Not at all. But yeah, thanks very much. And yeah, I'll be catching up with this later.
Cool.
So don't be bad mouth for me. I'll find out.
Never.
Oh, do you know?
You want to badmouth someone?
No, I had some joke up my sleeve and I've totally forgotten it. It's going to annoy me so badly. Oh, well, I can't remember it. It was a good one, but...
Well, you have the link, so if you think of it in 3 minutes, just hop back on and I'll let you in.
Buzz. Take care. Wish me luck.
Thank you, sir. Good luck. I love talking to Quinny. Absolutely love it. I was looking at this tweet here when I was showing my tweet deck, and Harry tweeted, Sorloth has to have the biggest head in football. And I was just looking at it and like, my God, this thing is gigantic. He's completely right. Like the hair is obviously big, but like Erling Haaland's a big guy and Sorloth is just, looks like his little brother. Anyway. A toast to great untold jokes. Check the Discord for the joke. He's not on Discord. That's the problem. Anyway, Elon wants me to do some mad stuff for my For You tab. Yeah. No, I actually can't stay much longer anyway. Obviously, I had to start early, so I wasn't going to go the full time. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And I'm not sure it actually clarified anything for me. It does seem like he has more boundaries than I do, but he But Quinny, like, I think Quinny is more, I think he wants his boundaries more than I do, but maybe that'll change. I don't know. Go to Duno helped with an arena yesterday. Quinny helped you with an arena? I think that was highly beneficial. That was certainly fun. I was working because I was hosting, obviously. Anyway. Anyway. Philly Dilly, what's up? Also listened in the car. Oh, how about that? I tweeted something and tagged you. Would love you to talk about it on stream. Should you think it's a decent topic? Let's. Oh, here we go. All right, Yorkie Will, let me just read it. I see it's about the double up promo. What do we got here? Not sure how I feel about this. Many people, including myself, spend thousands to get cards early and get them to higher levels to have that advantage. I don't have a problem with the XP aspect of this. It's the disabling of the cooldown. This combined with your early promo cards makes collections so easy. I feel it takes away from purchasing early at massive inflated prices. It reduces the values of one-ofs, jersey mints, etc. I will think hard about when to invest heavily next year and may not be right at the start. Would love your opinions on this. Am I being over the top? I can assure you, I can't. Oh, Sorloth and Halland helped you with an arena, not me and Quinny. Yorkie Will, that's really interesting. And I have thought about that a lot. And I don't have time to get into it today, but maybe Harry and I will talk about that on Tuesday. Because why not? We're always looking for a topic. My immediate response is you've had 3 months to compete while those people haven't. So you've had like way more time to make money, which they haven't, but obviously you paid more to do it. So I think, unfortunately, I think it falls into my whole, you can start Sorare anytime, which I think they would rather do than not have. So I think if you're against it, you're probably in a losing battle with it. But let me think about it over the next couple of days while I'm working on the weekend. Yeah. Let me think about that over the weekend. Then I can that was Harry's response. Yeah. We'll see. Maybe Harry and I will think about it, or at least I will. I don't know. I can't speak for Harry. And then we'll figure out a topic on that on Tuesday. But I do have to go. I just realized what time it was. So thank you everybody for coming. Really appreciate it. Huge thanks to Quinny for hopping on. If you are not a member of this channel, I highly recommend it, only because Quinny is the Sorare content OG. I certainly would not do content if it wasn't for Quinny. And he's supported my content for a long time. I'm happy to support his. And I became a member of his channel back when I worked for RotoWire pre-Sorare Data. And he was always very supportive of Sorare Data as well. So yeah, even if you don't watch his videos, he has an impact on the Sorare content community and MFL communities that we don't all fully appreciate. And so definitely become a member of his channel to do that. If you're doing that and you're just like, man, I would love to light some more money on fire, go become a member of the Laird Social Club. You can get into the Discord. Quinny doesn't have one. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, link to this to that is in the description. Patreon.com/Andrew M. Laird is where it is. Good luck to everybody. Enjoy the international break. More the break part than the international. I'll be back on Monday for Sorare Spotlight and some more content, and hopefully some MFL success later today. Thanks for coming. Don't forget to go outside.